Hello class! Here we are again to impart new knowledge for this day. Who are excited? Yes, I know all of you are excited for today. And settle down yourself because in just a second we will start our discussion. What will come into your mind when we talk language communication? Is a communication a best medicine for everyone? How can we achieve a good communication? Well, to gain more knowledge, let's start and explore. What is communicative language teaching? Communicative language teach the target language works on developing sound, oral, verbal skills prior to reading and writing. Is an approach to language teaching that emphasizes interaction as both the means and ultimate goal of study. Communicative language teaching different things to different teachers. To some teachers, it simply means a greater emphasis on the use of the target language in the classroom, and in particular, a greater emphasis on orality. To other teachers, communication entails the exchange of unknown information between interlocutors. In this, we have a basic concepts of method. These are design, approach, and procedure. Let's define first the design. Design is a definition of linguistic content, a specialization of selection and organization of content, and a description of the role of teacher, learner, and teaching materials. Second one is approach. Approach is a theory of language and of language learning. The last one is procedure. Procedure is concerned with techniques and practices in a method discussed with reference to recent proposals in methodology, and the application of the model is demonstrated.
So next is how. Learners learn and practice the target language through the interaction with one another and the instructor, and through the use of the language both in class and outside of class. Learners converse about personal experiences with partners and instructor, teach topics outside of the realm of traditional grammar in order to promote language skills in all types of situations. To encourage the learners to incorporate their personal experiences into their language learning environment, and to focus on the learning experience in addition the learning of the target language. So next is why. Successful communication in the target language is the main goal of communicative language teaching. The focus, particularly in the beginning, is on the student communicating an authentic message in their individual context and making themselves understood. Accuracy is important but doesn't need to the main goal. As students who communicates more information with a few mistakes is more likely to communicate successfully than who conveys very little with no mistakes. Motivate students to communicate. Students are allowed to choose and prepare their own discussions topics so that they can talk about the things that really matter to them.
The disadvantages and advantages of communicative approach. Let's talk about first the communicative approach advantages. It's much more people-oriented because it is based on people's needs and interests. Communicative approach seeks to personalize and localize language and adapt it to interests of pupils. Meaningful language is always more easily retained by learners. Seeks to use authentic resources, and that is more interesting and motivating for children. Children acquire grammar rules as a necessity to speak, so it's more proficient and efficient. And now let's proceed to the disadvantages. It pays insufficient attention to the content in while teaching and learning take place. The communicative approach often seems to be students we have good communication but native speakers of the target language can have great differently understanding and or difficult understanding students. Healthy approach focuses on theory but not accuracy. The approach does not focus on error reduction but instead creates a situation where learners are using their own devices to solve their communication problems. Thus, they may produce incoherent, grammatically incorrect sentences.
It was Noam Chomsky's theories in the 1960s, focusing on the competence and performance in language learning, that gave rise to communicative language teaching. The conceptual basis for CLT was laid in the 1970s by linguist Michael Halliday, who studied how language functions are expressed through grammar. Dale Haynes, who introduced the idea of a wider communicative competence instead of Chomsky's narrower linguistic competence.